Today's guest hails from Las Vegas, Nevada, but now finds himself calling Los Angeles, California home. Growing up, he had a scholarship to a D1 school for soccer and had to make the choice between music and sports. He made his decision, took his talents to Los Angeles, California, where he found the opportunity to tour with Modson and grow his project. Please welcome today's guest, LostinVegas.
Hey, yo, fire intro, man.
Thank you. Thank you. What's going on,
thank
man?
you for that. Hey, a lot is going on.
All good things.
A lot of really good things, actually. I haven't been more busy than right now. So
tell me about it.
Well, pretty much doing this all independently. So it's practically a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
I was just in Vegas shooting a music video. I was there for a couple days. Got here this morning. Went to go say what's up to Mod, actually, at his music video shoot, and it's his birthday, so I had to go and show love.
Absolutely. And happy birthday, Modson.
Yeah, happy birthday, Modson. We always end up doing like really cool things for his birthday, so it was really cool to see him this year. Glad that the tradition hasn't been broken.
Absolutely.
And then here I am today. I'm doing another video later today, actually, with my boy Sean Barrett.
Shout out.
So he's killing it too. If you guys don't know who he is, you should look up his videos. Super fucking funny. He works with Lil Aaron, Lil Lotus, like pretty much any like up and coming artist like that's in LA right now. He just does really comical, funny skits and videos and stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And then really just been grinding, dude. Just trying to get better at making music and just getting better at my craft. And been focusing a lot more.
So
been prioritizing just kind of music first.
Yeah. So let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're from Vegas originally.
Born and raised.
And you were a soccer player.
I was a soccer player, yes.
And what school did you play for?
So in high school, I played for Bishop Gorman, which was really cool at the time because Bishop Gorman was ranked nationally when I played, and I really wanted to play there.
Yeah.
That was like my goal going in, like being a soccer player like Bishop Gorman, just actually any athlete. It's a private Catholic school, so it's a lot harder to go in. My parents, bless their hearts, they worked their fucking ass off. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if I should cuss on this.
Cuss away.
Okay. So I went to Bishop Gorman for high school, won 2 state championships with that. Ended up graduating, being ranked, like I want to say by Sports Illustrated, 2 of the country. And then my goal was to get a scholarship to go play Division I soccer. And I ended up doing that in St. Louis. And yeah, I played there for 2 years, and then that's actually where I discovered my love for music.
So were your parents supportive of soccer at first?
Yeah, that was my life. Like I pretty much played soccer since I learned how to walk.
And what was it like when they found out about you kind of leaving what you were working for as, growing up and doing something that doesn't work out for most?
Yeah, so I didn't tell him, honestly. I didn't tell him I try to just keep it a secret, honestly, because
Absolutely.
I don't know. I was scared because it wasn't only just my dream, it was their dream as well. Yeah. And, I was going to soccer tournaments, but they're also driving me and they were supporting me every step of the way and they were taking me to practice. And so I felt like a lot of people's dream and vision for me and my evolution of just as a player was to go pro.
Yeah.
And so I was scared to tell him, honestly. Finally, after like 3 months, after I called my coach up and was like, hey, bro, like I can't, like I'm not doing this anymore, I just called him up one day and I was like, yo, guys, I got to tell you something. I got emotional, obviously, because that's who I am. And I told him I quit soccer. That took a lot out of me to tell him. And being scared of what they would say, my mom pretty much paused and was like, "You know what, Austin? We pretty much already knew
Yeah,
that."
yeah, they were
and
catching on.
and it they like it was a moment because it was our whole life.
Mhm.
It was 20 years of our life of just dedicated to the sport. So to for them to find out and for me to confirm it, um, was, I'm sure, like, difficult for them, you know?
Totally.
Um, but at the end of the day, though, my parents understand that I'm gonna do what I love, and if that's what is making me happy in the moment, um, they're gonna support it whether or not they understand it or not.
Absolutely.
And I don't think they really understood it because at the end of the day, they didn't even ever see me have any interest in music other than just me being a fan of it and a consumer of music.
Totally.
My uncle was in a Christian band growing up, so I was kind of introduced to music at a very young age, like through my uncle. Um, and it always it sparked my interest in music, but more so as like just a fan of it.
Yeah.
And it kind of just grew into uh what it is today. So um they definitely didn't predict that whatsoever.
Absolutely.
But they supported it. They're like, you know what, Austin, like we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it worked out.
When I was doing some research, before the interview, I was reading about that,
Hmm.
how you were gonna be, to be a D1 soccer player, you have to be 100% in it.
100% in it. Yeah.
And I think something that people struggle with when they come out to LA to do this,
Hmm.
to try to make it, if you will, in
Hmm.
whatever fashion that is it's hard for people to let go of other things that used to be important that are
Hmm.
no longer.
Hmm.
And I think that there's probably a lot of kids out there who are having a tough time being good at something else that they loved at one point,
Hmm.
and having to transition all the people around them to understanding that their love for something has changed.
Hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a second. Sometimes you need them to see a little bit of success before they're going to understand that there's just as much, if not more, opportunity in whatever this new endeavor is. That you have that same sort of love and try hard attitude at what you're going at now. Like it's not like you lost that. It's just happened to transition into something that is going to be a lot more of your life than what you had growing up.
Yeah, you make a very good point because a lot of the reason why I work so hard and I go hard, I dedicate a lot of my time, 100% of my time to doing this,
Yeah.
whether it be in the studio or outside the studio, is because I made a promise to myself. Like, if I was going to make this transition, I was going to treat it like I did soccer. And
Mm.
soccer, I would wake up at, a lot of people thought cause I was the best soccer player in the state and ranked regionally for a reason. A lot of people thought it was just luck or I was just naturally talented. But at the end of the day, I was waking up before school, 2 hours before school. I was running 4 hours. I was training in my backyard. Then I would go to school. Then I would go to practice early after school. And then I would train during
Yeah.
practice. And then I would do cardio and strength training afterwards. And I would do that every single day because I wanted to be the best soccer player.
And that
And I
carried
really I
over.
really loved it. And so I was like, I'm gonna carry this energy, one, because that's all I really knew. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because I don't know what to do with myself when I'm not when I'm
Absolutely.
not putting my energy into something that has any purpose whatsoever. I just feel like I'm wasting my time and that like gives me a lot of anxiety and stuff. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna carry this energy into music, into something I really had no idea. Um, about. I really didn't know what I was doing at all. At the time, I was just learning how to record myself. So I got a cardboard box and I got some McDonald's like cartons, like drink cartons
Yeah.
as like filters. I got this girl that I was smashing upstairs in my dorm, pantyhose as my as my vocal filter. And while everybody was going out and partying and like playing video games and stuff like that, I was in my dorm room or in the study hall with like my portable studio, literally rapping over just like YouTube beats.
It's wild how life kind of transforms, and you need those moments of having the bare minimum to work with
Hmm.
to make magic sometimes,
Hmm.
because if you can make magic with nothing, then it makes it a lot easier to have the correct tools to do it as well.
It's actually funny because there was the other day I had a moment where I was in the studio with my boy Rook. Um, this really talented musician that I've been wanting to work with for a while. His name is K Thrash. He works with, he's a guitarist for Escape the Fate, and he works with Travis Barker pretty closely. He was in there. This dude Ryan, who's the bassist for State Champs, and we were in the oh, and Michael J. Bono, who has been working on a lot of Avril's project and works pretty closely with John Feldy. Um, we just happened to all just be in the studio together.
Hmm.
And I was looking around and I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, this is my life. Like, I'm so grateful. Like, last year at this time, I was dreaming of this moment right now. And we were just, everybody was so talented. Like, and the energy in the room was just undeniable. It was just like, you get to this flow state where you don't even think about anything else, and then it's like time does not exist. It's almost like you like pierce through the matrix
Hmm.
of
Yeah.
whatever world we're living in, and we are just like floating, just creating, and we are writing, and there was no judgment, there was no ego. And then by the time like we wanted to lay down an idea in the vocal booth, I just assumed that somebody else was going to go in there, and then everybody just kind of looked at me and was like, yo, dude, like go in. And I was like, me? And I was like, all right, let's fucking go. Let's do this. Like,
it
let's keep it going.
it's wild when you start to realize how things kind of, come together in time. Like
Hmm.
sometimes you really do need to be 10 steps ahead of a situation to look back and understand it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was thinking about that earlier because the first time I actually met you was a few years ago at a studio that I was interning at called 17 Hertz.
Hmm.
And Mod was there. I was doing a session with him. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. But I told you guys all that. I was like, because I wasn't supposed to be engineering and my buddy Jake wasn't supposed to be. The engineer didn't show up and they're like, you
Yeah.
guys sit down. And I was so nervous because I was like, there's no way this can go well.
Yeah.
And the first thing that Mod said to me was, he's like, I don't care what you know. Sit down and enjoy yourself. You got this. I'll help you. And fucking taught me how to do it
Yeah.
while he was standing in the
Yeah.
vocal booth. And
Yeah.
all of you guys were standing there just fucking cheering us on. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
there was no there was no feeling of judgment. And it was just like the perfect place to grow.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
sounds like that's just kind of the atmosphere that you guys have created for yourselves in
Hmm.
general.
Hmm. Because we all been there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I know how that feels to
absolutely.
like, and the only way to learn really is by putting yourself in those positions. You know what I'm saying? So like, every time I'm in a every time I'm in a situation where somebody is either like struggling because either the lack of experience or knowledge or whatever, like I'm so sympathetic to that. Like, I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to help you. And I want to see you win. And if we're in the same room, I'm going to try 100%, like, the best that I can to be able to help you grow as well and help you elevate. And I try to build people up. Like, that's why I don't really hang out with a lot of people, because, like, I put my energy, a lot of my energy into the people that are around me.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it makes my day because I do remember, uh, that situation specifically, which is a big reason why I was with Mod, because I was in that position with Mod. Wh After the MGK tour, I was still learning a lot. I was a writer. I wasn't just I didn't go behind the booth and just recorded
Yeah.
like how Lil Wayne did, but that's how Mod did it. And when I was in the studio with him and I saw how he recorded his songs, he would just literally do it himself, engineer himself,
Yeah.
and just go behind the mic and just throw melodies at and just yell into the mic. And I like first I didn't understand it. I'm like, bro, what the fuck's happening?
And then it all culminates.
And then like within 2 hours, there's a beautiful song. And then I'm like, holy, this is how you do it. Cause you like allow yourself, you go past the conscious side of your brain waves and you tap into the subconscious. And then it just flows out of you and you don't overthink it. And it forces you not to overthink it.
Yeah.
And so I was in that position where I was like, oh, okay, I have a lot to learn. Like this is a muscle. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I would, when he would leave his house or take Chuko out for a walk, which is his dog, I would be in the studio and he'd be like, all right, here's a beat, like throw something over it. And so I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try to make a song before he comes back, you know? And then I would do it and it would just, I would just fail so many times because I didn't know what I was doing. And that's what you have to do. You have to be okay with failing.
Absolutely. You build up your own guidebook and you build up your own little like direction book. And the only way to build those directions is by fucking up and being aware, asking for help, learning how to do it correctly. And you keep changing until you're at a point where you can help somebody else do that. And that day in the studio was like a 14, 15-hour session. It was ridiculous all night.
Yeah, dude. The sun was coming up when we were leaving, I'm pretty sure,
Well, the end of the session ended with all of us laying in the live room with like drums on our chest, just hitting them with a mic over us for this one part. I just remember sitting there being like, how the fuck does this happen? I was a young kid sitting in my basement drumming by myself, and now I'm in a studio with somebody whose music I looked up to and a bunch of people who were so much better than me, yet so welcoming. And it really kind of gave me the idea of how I want to present myself and how I want to go about this industry. And I think so many people can learn from you guys in the sense of this is not competition. The people around you are not competition. That's community. That's family.
We're on the same team. Like straight up.
There's enough room for it. For the first time ever, there's so much music out and so many possibilities that you don't need to be in competition with everybody. You can grow and learn. And, you know, this podcast is supposed to become the blueprint to understanding how to fuck up, how to learn from your fuck ups, and how to grow.
Yep. Because, I mean, that's the definition of growing in my book. It's you can't grow unless you fail.
Absolutely.
And honestly, failing has such a negative connotation to it. You know what I mean? Like, my friend says falling forward. So, like, in order to progress and keep on moving, you have to fall forward, and you're just learning and growing and stuff like that. That's honestly the reason why I'm here.
I love it, man. I love what you're doing. I love the style you guys all have. You guys are all so like, you're so passionate about all aspects of the art. And I mean, you see where we're at in my studio. I'm a very eclectic person.
That's why I was like, okay.
I love expressing myself outside of just my emotions inside. I like to express it with what I'm wearing, what I'm surrounding myself with, who I'm surrounding myself with. And you guys seem to be a very, very tight-knit version of that.
Well, honestly, so when I was growing up and playing soccer, my creative outlet was
we got a train.
We got a train coming in.
It's in every 3 o'clock episode. Get used to it, people.
You know what I'm saying? What was I saying? Oh yeah, so when I was playing soccer, my creative outlet was art. I was in advanced art classes, and that was my thing that I did. I did art, and instead of taking notes in class, I would write poetry. And so when I discovered music, I was like, oh shit, like this is another way of I could express myself, a different way that I wasn't used to. And I was actually discovering a lot about myself, like when I was figuring that out. And Mod actually, like, I felt like I was like a little caterpillar, right, in a cocoon. And I was just like, I was timid and I was unsure of myself because I was just so new at it. I just did not know how to do it. And Mod taught me what style is, how you could form that creativeness into your style, into your look. He taught me about how to look good and what looks good and how it's more than just putting on clothes. You have to find your style because anybody could wear dope clothes, but you know, you gotta have style. You know what I mean? And like, and the style is your energy. So it's like, how do you look to match that energy? And he taught me that. So like, when I moved out to LA, I wasn't like, I was I look like like I worked at Subway. You
Now
know
you
what
got
I mean?
a badass fit and some red hair.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool. Like it exceeds just music. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? It you could create a whole world for yourself. That's just your environment. That's
I love
your
it.
creative. That's why this place is.
Thank you.
It's like a jungle gym. You know what I'm saying?
Go fucking create your world, people. It's
Yeah,
there for you.
yeah, and don't let anybody tell you differently.
Mm.
I've been going through a lot of like, I've been getting introduced to a lot of people who are considering themselves industry people,
Yeah.
and I went through a huge spiritual growth as of recently because um, I moved out of Mod's house because I felt like I needed to dive into my art more. And I needed it in order to do that. I needed to do it on my own. And I needed to dive into just who am I as an artist,
Totally.
right? Like I learned how to build a house, right, with Mod. He taught me the ways to do it. Now it was up to me to be able to build the house.
Yeah.
And so I left, moved out of Mod's house, and I started doing it on my own. And I started progressing, and I started being more and more consistent, and I started figuring out like, okay, I could actually do this. And I started proving to myself that this actually is this dream is realistic, and I'm very close to it. And but with that being said, when you do get close to something that, I mean, when you are following your purpose and you are gaining your power as a human and as a creative, it attracts a lot of mosquitoes. It attracts a lot of people who want to feed off of that power and that energy. And I got to a point where I was like, I want to go to the next level. I need to build a team. I need somebody to help me get there.
Yeah.
And I just realized that I actually don't. Thankfully, I met some really terrible people who like kind of brainwashed me and like manipulated me into thinking that I actually do need somebody. They're giving me information that I already knew, but I just trusted them. And this is a lesson for every artist. I want them to know that you actually don't need anybody. You just need to believe in yourself more. You could do this yourself. You don't need anybody. I'm telling you that. You need a small group of people around you who are like-minded and who want the same thing or want to become successful, not necessarily the same thing, but just want it. And you guys can grow together. But you don't necessarily need somebody telling you what to do, telling you how to do things, because you already know.
You don't need a leader, you need a community.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, on that, man, it is such a
that's fire.
pleasure to have you here, dude. We were trying to get this to happen for a while, and we got it to happen because
Yeah,
we're
we did.
supposed to.
Yeah,
And I'm so glad that all these years later we got to be sitting down and talking like this.
yeah.
I appreciate the support that you and Brennan and Mod gave me and my buddy Jake when we were learning, and
Yeah.
hopefully now I can have a platform to share my support and other support with, you know, people who would like to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Of course, man. Yo, congrats,
My
dude.
dude.
Keep it up, dude.
Thank
Let's
you so
go.
much. And to everybody listening,
I am lost in Vegas, and this is an experiment.
bye everybody. Hell yeah, dude.
Let's go, bro. That was fun.
The experience is the experiment.